This Tuesday, May 27, 2025, death of one of the oldest priests in the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda was announced. Monsignor Clemens Nze passed on this morning at the Sacred Heart Home in Gongham, Bamenda. CWA members in the UK and the entire Europe met over the weekend in Wuppertal, Germany for their convention as they equally voted their new leaders. And Minister George Elanga Obam of Decentralization officiates the graduation of students of the National School of Local Administration, NASLA, this Tuesday at the Independence Square here in Buea. Those stories which constitute the headlines and more will be developed in the minutes right ahead. Good evening and thanks for taking the rendezvous with us this 27th day of May 2025. His Grace Andrew Nkea of the Archdiocese of Bamenda has made public the passing into glory of one of his priests, Monsignor Clemens Nze. The late Monsignor returned to his Maker this May 27, 2025 at about 7:15 a.m. at the Sacred Heart Retirement Home in Gongham in the Archdiocese of Bamenda. Born on the 6th of July 1931, Monsignor Clemens was the third of Mr. and Mrs. John Nze of Meluf in Bui Division. He attended Sacred Heart School Shisong and later enrolled in St. Joseph College. In 1953, he gained admission into Bigat Memorial Seminary in Enugu, Nigeria, and was ordained a Catholic priest on the 8th of December 1960 by Bishop Peter Rogan. He and late Cardinal Christian were the two Cameroonians alongside three Mill Hill priests and brothers who started the St. Thomas Aquinas Major Seminary Bambui on the 15th of September 1973. Being a doctorate holder from the University of Münster, West Germany, he proved a solid figure in Catholic education. He served in other parishes and held different responsibilities in the church. His service in the church was rewarded and he was appointed a Monsignor and papal chaplain by Pope Benedict XVI. Prior to his death today, he had a lucid and clear mind, very active in intellectual engagement. With barely a month left to turn 94 years biologically and 7 months to turn 65 years as a priest, the late Monsignor's life was marked by his humility and simplicity, a true example for today's Catholic priests to emulate. May his soul rest in peace. It should be noted that this was the oldest priest living in the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda, and may his soul find rest in the peace of Christ. We turn our attention to other stories. Newly enrolled members of the World Apostolate of Fatima Diocese of Buea have been urged to stay spiritually committed, abstain from sin, and remain prayerful. This was during the celebration of their feast day at the diocesan level with their diocesan chaplain, Reverend Father Victor Diforzo. The event took place over the weekend. Nadesh Nenchongme with details.
It was a joyful and spiritual day at the St. Anthony of Padua Parish, Buea Town, as members of the World Apostolate of Fatima, also known as the Blue Amin, gathered with their diocesan chaplain, Reverend Father Victor Diforzo, Reverend Father Akakletus, and Father Mokanje to mark the celebration of their diocesan level feast day of Our Lady of Fatima. The celebration began with a Holy Mass where about 50 new members were officially enrolled into the group. These members had completed a month-long training and received their scapulars, which is a symbol of their dedication and commitment.
I be very happy for the big day for today wey don happen, and I pray say Mama Maria go help me for continue for the spread the message for talk about the scapula and the graces them when Mama Maria they bring her upon all its devotees them.
Me, I don't practice to pray the rosary. I don't see say you get a lot of blessing when you pray the rosary. So my goal now say the benefits you are don't get them for praying the rosary. You know, only being for me, I will help 2 other members that they can join so that at least together I will help, because they say more hands than when 2 or more people they do something, it will be more lighter. Because me one, I don't do all the day. I don't join the other team and I will work with them.
I am going to pray very hard, improve my prayers so that the group can go very high, and pray that more members should continue coming to the group.
Members carried the statue of the Virgin Mary from Independence Square to the church premises, showing their deep love and respect for her. Maxeline Gua, the National Secretary of the Apostolate, explained the different activities that were held during the event.
We don't enroll, I think from the number we will see maybe over 40, and the attendance for this enrollment it be so encouraging. And we will also, if we follow up the mass, you see, and so we celebrate mass with a lot of joy for our hearts. Let's get with celebration with procession, with the process of starting from Mama Maria for showing for the world. Say now we model this. Now person will life where we struggle as much as possible for imitate virtues and also for spread a message. The message will be come out for heaven. Jesus said he came down for Portugal from 1917 for 3 shepherd picking them, and he give them the message for pray rosaria every day, the message for pray for the conversion of sinners, and also the message for pray for peace.
Present was the Munya Dineri chaplain, Reverend Father Aka Cletus Nkeng, who urged the newly enrolled members to stay spiritually committed, abstain from sin, and remain prayerful.
Uphold to the teachings of Mary, especially for the scapula. Scapula gave instructions them, and one of the instructions I say we must prayer all time, and then we abstain from sin. Mama Maria cried within her sin. Me they not sin, me they abstain from sin, especially sin of the flesh. I made a prayer for the conversion of sinners. So as the newly elected escorts and they were being installed today, we try to tell them, say, me they know a lot over people, they may they be now work people the way, they go direct people them. Sometimes people they go fail, they may they use love as Mama Maria be instruct to take and lead people them for go before.
At the end of the celebration, the members gathered at the parish hall for a share meal, symbolizing love, unity, and a renewed commitment to advancing the mission of the apostolate.
We stay with Well Apostolate of Fatima this time around. We take you to one of the deaneries to tell you that a new executive has been elected to handle the affairs of the apostolate, this of Moya Deanery, with a call for all the leaders to be servant leaders, peaceful and loving. Members of the Well Apostolate of Fatima of Moya Deanery converged on St. Ignatius Catholic Church, Wonya Mavio, to pray God guide them, pick the right leaders. And this exercise took place on Sunday, May the 25, 2025. Sama Eileen has more on this story.
At St. Ignatius of Loyola Catholic Church, Wonyamavio, the Christian community here joined members of World Apostolate of Fatima, WAF Munya Dineri, to pray God for guidance as they elect a new executive. Reverend Father Aka Cletus, chaplain of WAF Munya Dineri, officiated Mass. During his homily, he challenged members of the prayer group affiliated to Our Lady of Fatima to choose 7 leaders who are peaceful and loving, avoid tribalism, while encouraging those who will be chosen as leaders to run the affairs of the Blue Army in the Deanery with diligence and dedication, stand up to the responsibility and not be afraid.
You must learn to be guided by obedience to Christ, love of His words, and of course, the desire to build the kingdom of God in your apostolate. Because the church is talking about servant leadership or leader servantship. When we say a leader must be a servant, that's why we record the Pope say servants of the servants of God. Because when they will place you today for lead this community, for lead this group, you don't only command them, you are not commanding them, but you are leading them like a good shepherd leads the sheep to pasture. That the reason that we don't gather here today with all the WAF members them from Munya Dineri.
Akango Magdalene has served WAF as Dineri president for a decade and is ready to hand over the baton of command. She offers words of encouragement and advice to the new leaders.
And to whoever they have to hand this power to, I pray that the person in question should do the same work that I did. You have to be honest, you have to follow up your people so that they do the work of Mama Maria. Following up, it is done financially, morally, physically, and otherwise. So you don't need a long story, but all this, I have done my best, and I know I've done my best, and I know the person who will take over me will do the best also. And now I am really done there. So Mama Maria is at work. So when you follow all her devotions, you obtain the Sabbathine privilege, which she said that we should do. We must be humble, we must be patient, we have to be kind, love one another. Yes. It's not all about money. It's in the faith and love you have for your people.
WAF members are in search of leaders who possess specific qualities for the growth of the prayer group.
In this election, we'll be expecting to vote a president and a vice, a secretary and a vice, financial secretary, treasurer, and then promoters. Promoters are the people who do the groundwork of the apostolate, those who go about like soldiers to hunt members and bring. So we are expecting a vibrant ESCO, and what we are expecting from this new Dineri is to get members who are readily available, who have the apostolate at heart, and who are ready and willing to give their time, because working as a leader in this apostolate, it requires a lot of sacrifice. You sacrifice your time, you sacrifice your know-how, you sacrifice your financial resources to make sure that Mother Mary is known. Then in the Catholic Church in particular, if we look at prayer and action groups, many people run away from prayer. And we have conditions that we attach, like the condition of wearing the scapula. It has certain conditions that when people come and hear, they will run away from it. So it's a bit challenging. It requires you to have faith. It requires you to be spiritually strong.
The cadets of Mary Munya Dineri also gathered here to hold a general meeting and send forth members under Mile 14 branch who have been transferred to the new Mutengene Dineri recently created by the Chief Shepherd.
We are here at St. Ignatius Mission Station to coordinate our general meeting as the cadets of the Dineri. This happens 3 times in 1 year, and at this point of time is the turn of Mile 18, the St. Ignatius Mission Station. And it's also a way for us doing a send-off of one of our beloved parish, St. Jude Parish, Mile 14, which they are now joining the Mutengene Dineri.
After Mass, the elections were held in the church premises of St. Ignatius of Loyola, where Bonjo Pascaline was elected president, Ebue Pauline, her vice, and Elad Marjorie, Secretary General of World Apostolate of Fatima, Munya Dineri.
We stay with activities of apostolate in the church. We take you this time around to Europe. The members of the Catholic Women Association, CWA, gathered over the weekend at Wuppertal in Germany for their European Convention. The convention was intended to strengthen the bond of unity between the Catholic mothers and chart a way forward for the growth of the association. We have details and more in this report with Jude Mbako.
Women gathered under the theme Pilgrims of Hope, trying to grow spiritually and intellectually. The mothers of the Catholic Women Association from all over Europe and the United Kingdom kept their appointment at Wuppertal in Germany for their convention. It was 3 days of experience, learning, prayers and encounter. Talking with their leader, Abolo Susan, she talks of her experience at this time.
Honestly, I would like to tell everybody that it was come and see. All women, mothers came from the UK, mothers came from Belgium, mothers came from France. It was wonderful. We had a wonderful time.
The mothers also received talks from priests and invited experts on various topics related to their growth and well-being, after which they had group workshops to discuss and present points derived from the previous presentations.
We don't meet new people, meet new priests. We don't show different kind of activities and talents to one another. And we'll be glad to say we go do them again, this time for England, and it will be for the town where we call and say Leicester. So maybe them for Vupetaye and they can join us.
An election of a coordinator for the next CWA European Convention was smoothly conducted as well, a vote of confidence on their new leaders as dancing and rejoicing equally erupted amongst the women.
God don't make and say, he don't call me, say, I'm going to be the next person where he go coordinate the next one. And I did beg God, I did beg Mommy Maria, say, make he intercede, make he give me that courage.
Other entertaining activities carried out by the mothers, such as fashion parade, dance, drama, and singing, which created a relaxed atmosphere for the mothers and all the branches present to feel the largesse of being part of the convention.
Throughout the day, with peace of soul and with firm conviction that your will governs all.
The convention successfully concluded with a closing mass celebrated by Reverend Father Miranda and Father Alphonse Ekema, during which the mothers animated the liturgy with singing and interesting lectionary procession.
To our weekly diocesan catechesis, yesterday's edition took place at St. Anthony of Padua Parish, Boyatown. The proper teacher of the faith, His Lordship Michael Bibi, continued with the 4 marks of the church, focusing on the third, with the church is Catholic. The prelate advanced reasons why the church is considered Catholic, clarifying who belongs to the Catholic Church, while calling on all Christians to be daily witnesses to Christ wherever they find themselves. Magdalene Wondo has more.
On this edition of the weekly catechetical teachings focus on the third mark of the church, which is the church is Catholic, as recited in the creed. His Lordship Michael Bibi outlined 3 reasons why the church is considered Catholic.
The church, they tell we say, that word Catholic, it means say, according to the whole. The church, it be Catholic for number 1 place, because say Christ it be present for inside the church. It be present for a word, it be present for the Eucharist, it be present for the minister, and it be present for the congregation. The number 2 way where the church it be Catholic, it be now for through the mission where Jesus is given for the church, where being a universal mission, there must be communion of faith.
Every diocese is considered Catholic because of God's presence and unity of Christians as a sign of Catholicity and communion of faith with Rome, as it is the basics and foundation of the faith. The local ordinary then laid emphasis on who belongs to the Catholic Church.
Important for we, for not say, when we talk say the church it be Catholic, the first thing we get for come for we mind, that's what remember now all the Catholic faithful them all over the world. For number 2 place, when we talk say the church it be Catholic, we do also remember Christians and way then they go for other church them. We no be Catholic church. We do not be in communion with the Catholic Church. In other words, they know they obey and respect the authority of Papa for Roman. And for number 3 place, when we talk about the church be Catholic, we think about everybody for this ground.
Christians were urged to identify themselves through love for one another, as all believers were created in the image and likeness of God. Some Christians expressed fulfillment of attending the weekly catechesis of the Bishop of Buea.
The message I'm taking home is that when they say Catholic, it means Jesus is in the church. I used to think that when they say Catholic, it's universal. Yeah, although it's all the same. Universal in the sense that everybody is involved. That the Catholic Church, the Presbyterian Church, and the Baptist, even those who are not Christians.
Our bishop has come down right to the grassroots to tell us about our Catholic doctrine, and we are following him every Monday. Today is the third Monday that he has been with us, and he is really enlightening us. Some of the doctrines that we did not know, some that we had forgotten, he is there making us to be intact.
As these Christians look forward to the next session, they were encouraged to be daily witnesses of Christ, and the proclamation of the good news should be a reality.
We now step into the field of education, finishing with the written part of the Catholic Religious Studies examination. The board has successfully completed the second phase of the exams, which involves the coding and flap folding of the work scripts of candidates. The exercise, which started over the weekend, concluded Monday, May 26, 2025 at the Secretariat over in the Archdiocese of Bamenda. Bernard Aksone tells us more on this story.
Following the writing of the Catholic Religious Studies examinations for both secondary and high schools of all Catholic colleges found in the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda, which took place on the 2nd and 3rd of May 2025 respectively, the examination board established in the Metropolitan See of Bamenda has completed the second phase, which started on the 24th and ended on the 26th of May 2025, leading to the results of the exams, which include coding and flap folding of work scripts of various candidates.
Now we are at the second phase where we do coding and flap folding. So we have clerical workers here with us. There are about 25 of them who are doing this exercise. We have registers that we have prepared with the names of the students, their candidate numbers, and then with the various schools. We have given codes. So at the moment, these clerical workers are making sure that the scripts, the names on the scripts are matching with the names that are on the register in order to use the respective codes for the candidates.
Mindful of the turbulent and strenuous nature of the job, which involves care, accuracy, great responsibility and confidentiality, the clerical staff involved for the exercise cannot forget the great experience in a hurry.
It has been a great experience for me, as I've been able to match the candidates' names with their codes on their scripts. This is a very tedious work. It comes with tediousness at times, but it's a great experience.
My experience during these 3 days of this exercise, I've practiced confidentiality and accuracy, because the folding and the flap folding, you have to give codes, code the names. So at least you have to practice some confidentiality and accuracy.
Hoping for nothing but the best of results from the candidates who sat in for the exams, the examination board prepares to embrace with full flesh the third phase, which consists of the evaluation of the various scripts.
So after this coding and flap folding, we are going to move into the third phase, which is the phase for marking, where we'll then meet the examiners to come in. So after this coding, we'll have a break of about a week. Then we'll carry on the marking session, where examiners will come after the first 2 days of marking. These same clerical workers will come again to do the checking what we call B-checking. They will check what the examiners have marked to see to it that everything is in order.
Taking into consideration the various Catholic colleges and the moral values and standards which they uphold, the examination board is careful more than ever to ensure transparency in the results in the coming months as they carry on with such delicate task.
Graduates of the National School of Local Administration, NASLA, have been challenged to be professionals in effective management of local authorities and provide quality services of decentralization to the population they are called to serve. This call was made by the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development, Elanga Obam, during the graduation ceremony of the 2023-2025 Pioneer Badge of NASLA at Bongo Square, Boya, this May 27, 2025. Magdalene Wondo witnessed this graduation ceremony. She filed in this report for the Primetime News. The ceremony saw the graduation of 466 students from cycles A, B, and C, initially admitted in 2023 after 2 years of training in various programs tailored towards facilitating regional and local governance. In attendance were dignitaries like the Minister of Decentralization and Local Development, Governor of the Southwest Region, the Mayor of Boya Municipality, among others. The Minister of Decentralization and Local Development's message to regional and local authorities as they welcome more experts into the field is to enhance a people-centered decentralization.
There is a lot of people who are at the disposition of regional and local authorities. People are very well trained, who have the skills and who are ready. I think it was a long journey, 2 years. Now it is the end of the journey and it is the start of a new one. I urge the local and the regional authorities to take advantage of the fact that they have at their disposal 466 people who can enhance the functioning of regional and local authorities. I'm confident that with them joining the local public service, things are going to move, things are going to change.
This training is a show of professionalism, discipline and mastery of decentralization skills as a point of reference to regional and local authorities in the quest of local development.
I'm under steering management, finance. I've been trained to be a municipal treasurer, an accountant and whatsoever. So we are being trained to possess the skills. The skills where those who are on training in the councils may not possess or may possess but not up to standard. So we are being trained and we are called upon to become exemplary.
NASLA's innovative system approach based on high standard and accountability is laudable as these graduates serve as transformers of regional and local councils. Some graduating students say they are ready to serve the population as local administrators.
We are ready to face employment. We are trained. We are ready. Me and my mates are able now to manage, to handle regional and local authorities.
I'm very enchanted, very happy for this ceremony because 2 years in Boya is not a child's play. We remain indebted to God for permitting us to go through this training process for 2 good years.
Worth noting is that the National School of Local Administration is a public institution established to train and improve skills of local administration personnel. Congratulations to all the graduates from NASLA who were sent out today. We take you beyond Cameroon. Algeria and Senegal are cracking down on past corrupt government officials as a dozen of former ministers have been arrested on corruption charges in both countries. And a British man has been arrested after he drove his minivan on Monday into dozens of Liverpool supporters jubilating after their victory. Details with Aloysius Likie.
3 former Algerian presidential candidates have been sentenced to 10 years in jail for corruption on Monday. Businesswoman Saïda Nazga, former minister Balseman Sahil, and the head of a veterinary products laboratory Abdel Hakim Hemadi also received a 1 million dinars fined, about £6,700. The 3 defendants had all hoped to win the presidency in September 2024, but the Algerian Constitutional Court had dismissed their candidacies even before the election, accusing them of buying sponsorship from elected officials. In August 2024, the prosecution said that 50 elected representatives had admitted to receiving money to sponsor the 3 candidates run for office. Incumbent President Abdel Majid had unsurprisingly won the ballots. In total, about 70 defendants were convicted in this case after the investigation revealed a larger corruption scheme. 3 sons of Saidi Nazga were sentenced to between 5 and 8 years in jail for aiding and abetting and money laundering. Senegal's Anti-Corruption Special Court on Monday indicted Amadou Mansour Faye, a former Minister of Community Development and brother-in-law of ex-President Macky Sall, on charges of embezzling more than $6.4 million in public funds. Faye is now the 5th official from the previous administration to be charged by the High Court of Justice, a special judicial body tasked with trying former government officials for crimes committed in office. The court denied him bail and ordered his detention, according to lawyer Amadou Sall. The latest indictment is part of a broader crackdown on alleged corruption under the administration of newly elected President Bassirou Faye, who campaigned on promises of transparency and accountability. Just last week, the same court detained 2 other former ministers, Mustafa Diop, who served as Industrial Development Minister, accused of embezzling around $4 million from Senegal's COVID-19 relief fund, while former Mines Minister Asiatou Sophie Gardimi faces charges of misappropriation of $330,000 from a fund meant for miners impacted by pandemic. The charges stemmed from a paramilitary inquiry that revealed widespread misuse of state funds and under the previous government. The detentions underscore the new government's commitment to rooting out corruption at the highest levels, even as critics raise concerns about political motivations. And a British man has been arrested after he plowed his minivan Monday into a parade of Liverpool soccer fans celebrating the team's victory in the Premier League Championship. The police said the 53-year-old is believed to be the only one involved in the incident and that it was not being investigated as an act of terrorism. Nearly 50 people were injured in the crash, including several children, with ambulance services saying 27 of them were taken to hospital for treatment. Liverpool Mayor today Tuesday said 4 of the wounded were in a serious condition. Officials estimated around 1 million people were along the 16-kilometer route to watch the Liverpool players' open-top bus victory parade through the city centre. But at about 5 in the afternoon, as the event was winding down, a minivan drove into the large crowd. Police have not released any additional details about the driver or his motivation yet. It is also not clear how the man was able to drive at the crowd through a street that was closed to cars.
That update on our foreign page brings us to the end of the primetime news. The headlines before we go. This Tuesday, May 27, 2025, the death of the oldest priest in the ecclesiastical province of Bamenda was announced. Monsignor Clemens Nze passed on this morning at the Sacred Heart Retirement Home for Priests in Gongham in Bamenda. CWA members in UK and the entire Europe met over the weekend in Wuppertal, Germany, for their convention as they equally voted their new leaders. And Minister George Elanga Obam of Decentralization officiates the graduation of students of the National School of Local Administration, NASLA, this Tuesday at the Independence Square here in Buea. Join us tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, for more news-making events in the Diocese of Buea and beyond. We thank you for paying keen and kind attention to the stories brought to your notice today. A wonderful evening. Good night.